yeah, it's also one that just repeats endlessly. So I've been, because I pulled the game up early, I've been listening to this for like 30 minutes. But we are now live. Now Nano's with us. I can see him. I'm going to go ahead and just preemptively turn myself up and see if that helps. Yep, and there's Nano saying volume up. So, perfect timing. Give a few minutes just in case anyone else is unlike Nano and not in early. Late early, I guess, but that's pretty typical SWA stuff. Exactly. Shame on them, indeed. But let's get things going. Episode 26 coming your way. It's a tag-heavy card. We got 3 tag matches tonight, and 4 pretty exciting singles matches as we make our way to pay-per-view next week.
Yep, it's almost time.
Right to Fight Season 2. Right to Fight, I guess.
Yeah. 2's all over the place.
But
it's a big pay-per-view because, you know, it's sort of the midpoint of the season, right? You have the Rumble where someone earns the titular right to fight, gets a title shot at 2-night stand. You know, I have to assume that the Path to Glory briefcase will be on the line somehow. I mean, even last year we saw it, you know, be contested as part of the Rumble. A lot of trajectory for things going forward can be set, and this is the lead up right here. You got to put yourself in a position now to get to that sort of changing moment at Right to Fight. So it's a big week.
Yeah, like you mentioned, last year we saw Calvin Obleva drop the briefcase in the Rumble. This year we know that Flying Brian Strong is going to be defending that briefcase at the pay-per-view, but it's going to be outside of the Rumble, which might, you know, I don't know, it probably favors him instead of having to defend it in the entire Rumble. But his opponent will be chosen here tonight, our 5th match of the night. Bobby Plaster and Dr. Morbius going head-to-head for a shot at Brian Strong at Right to Fight. So that's a pretty big match we'll have coming up later tonight as well. First up, though, we got Corey Wolfhart making his way in through the crowd in typical Wolfhart fashion. He'll be teaming up with AJ Balor, familiar teaming so far. They've only got the 1 win, but they are building up some experience. And they've got a winnable match here tonight, taking on the Barefoot Buddies, who sit at 0-2 so far in their tag career.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say highly heralded. Certainly fan favorites, the Barefoot Buddies. They're small, they don't wear shoes. They're a couple of interesting characters. The fans seem to love them, but they can't get results in the tag division so far. They want to change that here tonight, but...
Yeah, underdogs for sure, and we'll be hoping to turn it around, whereas, you know, Balor and Wolfhart here tonight are going to be looking to shut them down and keep them with a defeated record so far. For Eddie Vortex and Sangre's, they teamed up to attempt to take down the Beast and the Boulder, who had taken down Sangre's at 2-night stand in a 1-on-2 handicap match. And then the next time they came out, they lost to Highlights for Adults, which kind of kicked off the nice run that Badeau and Simmons went on after that win, resulting in a title opportunity that they did come up short on. So, you know, at the time we thought that was a pretty bad loss actually for the Barefoot Buddies, because they had a lot of hype coming into that match, and Badeau and Simmons had not really shown us much, but since then, you know, they've went on a bit of a run, and maybe that loss is not quite as bad of a mark on the resume of Barefoot Buddies here as we might have thought it was.
Yeah, it certainly is looking like a pretty good, like, quality loss, I have to say.
I think it's weird to say, but it is kind of true here. For both sides, this is really a winnable match. And,
Yeah.
we've seen a win out of Balor and Wolfhart, but we haven't seen dominance in the tag division. And, we haven't seen a win on the other side, but we also haven't seen incompetence out of Barefoot Buddies. So for both sides, it's a winnable match, and it's a good chance to, like, put your foot forward and get going in the right direction in the tag division, which neither of these teams have really done up until this point.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the Barefoot Buddies. We've seen competence from them. I think that's a good way to put it. I think, too, like, they haven't come up with a win yet, but they've always been, like, an actual threat to win. It's not like they've looked outclassed in all their matches. They just haven't quite put it together, but every time you get another chance, there's a chance that things break your way instead of against you, and suddenly you've got a winning streak before you know it. So these guys are the real deal, and it's just a matter of time, I think, before they get a first win. Could be here tonight.
Yeah, we'll start with Wolfhart and Vortex in the ring here. Sangre's the highest ranked among the competitors in this match. He's inside our top 10, ninth in the power rankings, 7-4 in singles action. Wolfhart gets the better of that exchange, but Vortex does get out of it, sends him into the corner there. Oh. Ooh.
Oh, man.
Solid
What
impact
a,
there. Gets him in a precarious position and then dumps him kind of face first. Roll up here from Wolfhart. No, he's not going for the cover. Oh, the strength. The strength of Corey Wolfhart. I thought he was going for a roll up there.
Yeah, he sort of schoolboy rolled him up into a sit-out powerbomb, but he just deadlifted him with one arm. That was impressive.
Wolfhart showing the strength against the diminutive frame of Eddie Vortex, who's not quite as small even as his teammate Sangre's here. But look at the offense from Eddie.
Yeah, standing shooting star press. That was nice. You mentioned Corey Wolfhart here has a distinct size advantage all around. He's the largest person in this match by a good bit. And that may come into play, but having someone like AJ Balor on your team, right, he's the sort of same size and style as these flippy little guys, so he can hang. Although, again, Eddie with that interesting little sort of stretch back slam thing.
Yeah, Vortex going back to the well there to introduce Balor to that move. Sending AJ into the corner here and
up top, maybe? What's he thinking? Oh, just goes outside.
And Balor seemed to be taking the time to taunt there. Vortex gets a cover here, just a 1 count.
Yeah, nice backslide, though. Caught him taunting, working in the crowd. You got to keep your head on a swivel.
Vortex
What's Eddie thinking now? Maybe going to launch himself.
He is way over there, daring him to get up all the way across, corkscrew, crossbody, got all of it.
Man, what an incredible show of athleticism. You see the leaping ability there. That was a great, angle in the hard cam as we see our Hurricane Rana by Balor there.
Going back the other way, but man, Eddie Vortex cleared a lot of distance there. Started out in a different area code. Made the connection.
That's really incredible.
Oh.
And some sort of like springboard leaping shoulder tackle. I don't know what that was, but he seemed to have connected because
I think his shoulder was about the only thing he got the connection there. Balor seems confused. Wolfhart is demanding a tag, and Balor is just kind of repeatedly going underneath the turnbuckle. I'm not sure that he's aware of where he's at right now.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe, and a nice German suplex. I think maybe Eddie caught Balor's head with his shoulder on that springboard offense.
Oh, Vortex with a nice Hurricane Rana over the ropes. And sure enough, he's looking for the pummel horse. Got all of it. And off the top.
Leaping, stretching for that splash. Really great work.
Vortex has the cover. Ref takes a slow route around. 1, 2, and 3. That'll do it.
There it is. Barefoot Buddies. I told you they're always a threat, right?
Eddie Vortex going coast to coast there. We never even saw Sangres in that match.
Yeah, coast to coast in more ways than one. You know, he goes the whole distance in the match, but he also that incredible leaping crossbody with the corkscrew
Good
added
view
for
of
good
that
measure.
one. He covered some ground on a number of moves here. Vortex showing off that Olympic athleticism.
Yeah, and showing off that wrestling skill. He gets better every week.
And Corey Wolfhart nowhere to be seen there. We often see tag team partners look out for each other in that situation. Maybe he thought that Balor was going to get out of that.
Yeah, I mean, he may be a little surprised at just how easy AJ Balor went down for the pin, but at the end of the day, ref counts 1, 2, 3, match is over. And Barefoot Buddies securing their first win as a tag team in the SWA.
Moving up to 1 and 2. It's got to feel good to get the first one under their belt. And in pretty dominant fashion as well against a veteran of the tag circuit. And they'll get a nice win to kick us off here tonight. We move into singles action. Dead Peace taking on Nathan Bogard. This is not a submission match, but don't be surprised if it ends via submission. A couple of gentlemen here who have been known to get a submission victory. Dead Peace did so last week in a tag match representing Deadfire. And of course, Nathan Bogard, the Lion King, picked up 5 of them in that incredible Iron Man submission match at Two Night Stand, where he debuted at that pay-per-view.
Yeah, we've seen some really nuts things from Bogard in his short career. Still, he's not quite half a season in, and he's shown us the heights of what he can do, but not quite been able to put it all together. Not been able to get as many wins as perhaps some would have expected. So, this is a tough one here tonight.
Yeah, he fought DDT to a draw in that Iron Man match. At the time, if that match had gone on about 10 more seconds, he might have got a 6th and a win. Since then, on the singles side of things, it's been 0-3 for Bogard. Tough sledding so far. And while Dead Peace has had success as a member of Deadfire, where he's helped secure some wins, he also sits at 0-3 in singles action. So a classic SWA match here, as somebody's got to get a win. And it's going to be either Dead Peace, who is accompanied by his tag partner Diego Mercer, or the Lion King, Nathan Bogard.
Indeed. So, who do you like? What do you think?
I hesitate to say it because it hasn't resulted in his favor so far, but I've been in on Bogard ever since we saw him at Two Night Stand. I think he's an exciting prospect here in the SWA, but he just hasn't put it together. If he's going to do it, I think he needs to get it done tonight before he fades from relevance here and takes down a Dead Peace. I think Dead Peace, he lives or dies here by the submission. He's gonna have to tap out Bogard. But what I like about the Lion King is that he's just as threatening to pick up a pinfall win here as a submission. He has a lot of power and can really wear you down in a lot of ways. He hasn't got it done yet, but I like him to get it done here tonight. And much like Barefoot Buddies, I like Nathan Bogard to pick up his first win.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad pick. Like you said, it's scary to make that call because it seems to be a jinx more often than not. But like I said earlier, Bogard's really showed us the heights of what he's capable of, I think. And if he can put it all together, I think we should see him victorious here tonight.
Of course, that being said, on the other side of things, last week I said the Dead Peace could be the X factor in that tag match. He ended up getting the victory himself, putting in the submission for the Deadfire win. That's the one thing that kind of separates him from the other members of his tag team, is being that submission artist. And it's even though there are some that are better than others, DDT comes to mind as the real kind of face of that sub gang, as it were. All of them are still deadly. Not everybody has the defenses to hold up against a locked-in submission, and that makes Dead Peace a threat every single time he's out there.
It does indeed, and it's an easy way to sneak up on people, I think, too. You often see people kind of underestimate submission offense, even as it continues to be, a very effective way to win in the SWA.
Difference here, of course, we talked a little bit about how Bogard's got more of a power game. That translates as well to the submission side of things, whereas Dead Peace would be considered more of a technical submission artist. Bogard is really perhaps the only kind of pure power submission threat in the SWA. He is relying a lot more on strength and power than the technical side of things. So even though we could be seeing a sort of a sub-gang battle here, it's different styles within that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We haven't seen a lot of power submission. I think it's perhaps maybe an under-scouted, offensive strategy here in the SWA, because we see a lot of technical submissions. But at the end of the day, you got to do some damage. You got to beat your opponent up before you can execute submissions well, and to do that you also have to pay attention to him, which is a note Nathan Bogard should listen to.
Yeah, the other X factor here is Diego Mercer on the sideline there. Distracts Bogard. Bogard really didn't get himself in too much of a bind there, but that could be a problem if he doesn't watch out.
Yeah, he's already getting in his head. I think that's the thing, right? Like, it didn't necessarily pay off that time. As we see him go right into a lion tamer, is that? Oh, my.
Sure enough, and look at the neck, the angle of the neck and shoulders of Dead Peace.
So high,
and he's tapped out. The
That's
Lion
it.
King is the winner, distraction and all.
Well, I suppose maybe that distraction lit a fire under him. My goodness.
Dead Peace got caught in the lion's den there, and my goodness, put him away in a hurry. Nathan Bogard with a quick victory, his first. Dead Peace showing some respect here, but that looked painful on the neck and shoulders of Dead Peace. My goodness.
Yeah, that's wow. Hell of a match, even though it was quick.
It's a match that could be in contention for the record for quickest match, perhaps, if Bogard hadn't been distracted by Diego Mercer. If he'd got that thing locked in even sooner, would have had a better run at it. I'm not sure. I'm sure someone will tell us what the tape was there, but quick win for the Lion King.
And a decisive one. He's, like we talked about, a person we've seen kind of struggle to put it all together, and get a win. Now we've seen two successive matches where people who have not quite been able to put it all together have done so here tonight. It's exciting stuff as we come into this halfway point of the season.
Next up, we've got a match here, third of the night. Another singles match, this time between the Machine and the Boulder. Currently, the Boulder sits at 18th in the power rankings, 5-6. And stop me if you've heard this one before, but he went 4-1 in the inaugural tournament. So it has been a little bit rough going for the Boulder since then. At 5-6 is deceptive. He is 1-5 since that tournament. The Machine is 4-7. It's been up and down with a little bit more down for the Machine, but looking to get things back on track here are both of these men. Size-wise, you'd think that this is really kind of a Herculean task on both sides. 6'11" for the Machine, 275. He's the tallest superstar in the SWA. The Boulder at 6'10", 380 was the heaviest before Paragon joined the roster. Super heavyweight coming in from Hawaii. These two a matchup of size here, but certainly not forces that can't be stopped.
Yeah, this is a hoss fight. This is big meaty men slapping meat, and that's what you want to see. Just a couple of guys going at each other, body oil and all.
Yeah, this is really, Machine, Boulder. This is the the stoppable force and the movable object here. We got a lot of size, not necessarily the records to back it up, but a lot of potential still baked into this match. I talked about my own sort of hopes for Nathan Bogard once before. Machine was my early pick in the SWA, and much like this match has started, he has not started his career very highly.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for, like you said, both of these guys, especially the Machine. A little more down. Boulder had a nice run, at least to begin, but this is an interesting matchup for both, I think, because they're both used to being the bigger guy, the one who can really throw their weight around, and that's negated here. So this is going to be a different kind of approach for a couple of really big, strong fighters, but one who's a striker whose style maybe translates a little better in the Machine.
Yeah, perhaps not going to have to do as much lifting, grappling. Oh,
well, that's not going to go well.
Strength winning out for the Boulder there, but a nice counter by the Machine.
Oh, and a tackle. That time gets him all the way down. Goes for the pin immediately, but also kicks out immediately. That's a little ambitious from the Machine, I think.
Well, the Boulder going to work on the face of the Machine. Handful of strong rights, now looking for a cover of his own.
And he also kicks out at just before one. These guys looking to get this one over with quick, but I think it's going to take a bit more before this match is done. Oh, and again, fails a shoulder tackle. And at this point, Machine needs to understand the size, conversation here, because he's getting embarrassed.
A third, and there's how it's done right there. The Boulder gives him a up-and-close lesson. You're right, we've seen the Machine do that to many opponents, but not tonight against the Boulder. 0 for 3, might be time to give a different strategy a try here.
Yeah, like I said, he's the one with the striking offense. You would think it would translate pretty well regardless of the size of his opponent, but at this point, I got to say, he seems outmatched. He's gotten his licks in, but I think Boulder here really controlling this match in a way that spells bad news. Speaking of bad news.
Very bad news for the Machine. Oh,
a superplex off the top turnbuckle. That's a lot of weight crashing down a long way.
Well, the Machine showing some fight back on the other hand. Back to his feet, taking the Boulder over to the ropes. Dumped back inside.
Oh, and that discus clothesline. My goodness.
Just lawn chaired him there. Now he seems to be setting up. He got all of that Machine takedown.
He sure did.
That's the one he missed on the Boulder in that inaugural tournament.
And the ref taking the scenic route.
Getting a worse angle, and it's still enough. Could have got a 5 count on that one. The Machine takes down the Boulder with that Machine takedown. The strong right puts him away.
And tonight's an interesting night. It's a night for redemption. It's a night for new beginnings. And, oh, what's this? Machine got a little something else to say, it seems like.
Some extracurricular here. The Machine going back for some kicks after that punch. Took care of business. Machine gets his 5th win and then goes back for a little bit more. Taking down the Boulder, who continues his free fall. Got the second of our 3rd tag matches here tonight coming up. We got the the B-sides here, the Quinn Bros, Corey Quinn and Matthew Quinn, taking on the brothers Stone, Unhinged, Slate, and Onyx.
Yeah, we need some sort of like, maybe the B team is it. We need some sort of distinguisher when we talk about them to distinguish this B team of Quinn brothers.
As of yet, officially, the Quinn brothers are 9-0. Those are the tag champs, Jamie and Noah Quinn. At 3-1, tonight you get the Quinn Bros. Not a strong distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's Matthew and Corey donning the blues.
I think worth noting too, the Freebird rule is in effect for tag defenses, so conceivably these guys could defend the tag titles, but they're not in the match for the tag titles right now. They're just wrestling separately. So
no, I think Jamie and Noah have taken that right away from these two. Probably an awkward Thanksgiving for the 4 of those. I think it's been very clear that they're not at the same level as Jamie and Noah. The B team, joking aside, Jamie and Noah won the tag titles, have not been defeated, and Corey and Matthew have never seen those straps, and short of taking it off their own brothers, I don't know that they will here.
Yeah, and that's fair. My point was only about the legality of, by rule, these Quins could defend it, but it would certainly be an internal discussion about who's getting to defend the titles, because the other two are undefeated.
We have seen, on the other hand, Corey Quinn. He actually is 16th in the power rankings as a singles competitor, 6-7. He's had ups and downs as well, but kind of right around 500. Had some success. Matthew Quinn at 2-2. We've seen just a lot less of him. 27th in the power rankings as a singles competitor. But Corey's kind of been the singles guy of the Quinn brothers, really since the start of the SWA, and he's had more success there than some of his family members, but they have not had quite the run that their brothers have had on the tag side of things. For Slate and Onyx, Unhinged, 5-3 in tag competition. 2 of those losses have come to Jamie and Noah, the Quinn brothers, as opposed to the Quinn Bros here. We're going to start with Onyx and Corey Quinn here tonight for this one.
And a little chain wrestling, a little back and forth. Technical work here from certainly at least one brawler, perhaps 2. I don't know how you feel about Corey Quinn, but
yeah, surprising technical side from Onyx, to say the least.
But I mean, ultimately, it shows the sort of skill and training he's got. He's got a broad background of disciplines he's learned from, and that's smart. As a fighter, you have more weapons in your arsenal.
Yeah, and we saw Slate in that tag match, in that elimination tag chamber. He was one of the final 3, but wasn't able to get it done. Dropped to Lucian Bedeau, and in fact, the last time the Unhinged had a tag match, it was against Highlights for Adults in a match that they lost. So looking to get away from Lucian Bedeau and his teammate Flynn Turner-Simmons, as well as Jamie and Noah Quinn, who have handed Unhinged their only losses so far. 2 of those with the titles on the line.
As he goes here to an electric chair, and what's he thinking?
Oh!
And a one-winged angel. Nobody kicks out of that.
Center of the ring, down for the cover. No need for the kick out because Matthew Quinn broke it up, and Onyx gives him a right and a left for his troubles. Slate Stone just kind of stares at him.
Yeah, I think Slate knew that Onyx didn't need help there. He's been controlling this match for a bit here. And I think Slate trusts his brother.
Some of our fans online have noted this is actually the first time we've seen Onyx Stone start the match for Unhinged. Usually Slate, perhaps a different strategy employed here. Slate really the technician, the submission guy. Maybe Onyx is out there to weaken the opponents, but right now he's the one dumped on his head, and Corey Quinn looking for the cover here. Gets a 2 count.
Yeah, that was a nice sit-out butterfly facebuster, but not going to be quite enough to take down Onyx Stone. As he tags in Matthew, who looks like he's come in ready to go. He's got some energy, he's moving quick, but whiffs on a kick there. Into the corner and caught. This is not a good start for Matthew Quinn.
Ooh, and Onyx throwing hands.
Just eating some potatoes.
To the forehead there from Onyx Stone. Corner
and again.
Give it up. Slams the left arm. Now Onyx going up to the mid rope there to take some time for the fans, pose for some photos here.
And a nice scoop slam. Great work, and Onyx breaking up a tag as well. Boy, he's just controlling this match.
Interesting strategy here. We talk about cutting the ring in half. Onyx has foregone that strategy. He's just whipping on Matthew Quinn right in front of Corey here on their half of the ring.
Yeah, it's a good point. He's risking like a blind tag here or something, and as he decks Matthew to the outside, Corey could have reached in and tagged his partner, but chose not to for whatever reason. Maybe playing a little more by the rules. A snap suplex there by Onyx, and he struggles to get to his feet. He's looking a little winded now after, just laying into Matthew Quinn for some time now. Might be time to tag in his brother Slate. Let him go to work.
Head first off the apron for Matthew Quinn.
Quinn with a jawbreaker, maybe looking to get some control here. Maybe tag out of this match. He's thinking about it.
Sends Onyx across. Onyx falls down over there. Of course, there's no count in tag matches here in the SWA.
Still thinking.
Pinfall or submission will have to happen inside the ring. And Matthew Quinn, well scouted, waited for it, and it paid off. Looked like he busted Onyx open with that kick.
Yeah, really played possum kind of standing up there. That was an interesting choice, but it worked out all right for him.
Onyx carrying him around.
Up oh!
Off the steel steps.
Boy, that's going to sting in the morning.
Ooh,
and goes for an enziguri. Nobody home.
Athleticism from Onyx Stone.
Nice snapmare takedown. Matthew Quinn back in control. Maybe getting a little more momentum on his side. But again, Onyx with just a potato.
What a left.
Taking his time, stalking his prey here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, falls will have to happen inside the ring. So at some point, these guys will have to go back inside the ropes. But they can take as much time as they want out here, as you said.
Yeah, they will have to finish it inside, and maybe that's what Onyx is preparing for here, taking this match back inside. Oh, what a boot!
Straight to the head.
My goodness, on the apron. Now sending Matthew to the corner. Makes the tag, and it's going to be the first appearance of Slate Stone here. Onyx finally tagging out after doing some damage to both of his opponents.
Double hip toss and a stereo kicks. Maybe Slate looking to put it away right here. Deadlift and drops him on his face.
Nice little jawbreaker from Matthew Quinn, though. Gets himself back to his feet with a nice counter.
Uh-oh. Going up for a package pile driver.
Welcome to the match, Slate Stone. Matthew Quinn going for the cover here. 1, 2, and kicked out. 2.5. Near fall for Matthew Quinn. Almost put away Slate Stone.
Yeah, that caught him by surprise there, I think. And now a few kicks to the face. Got to watch out. Those boots are apparently pretty sharp. They busted Onyx right open.
Couple of nice clothesline from Matthew Quinn. How about a third? Takes Slate back off his feet.
And Slate not having a good time this match. A jumping, spinning heel kick right to the face, and I think he's bleeding too, man.
Both Stones busted right open here.
Uh-oh. This is not what you want to see when Slate Stone's in the ring. Any kind of submission. He's got that sort of
leg in the back of Matthew Quinn here. Can he get out of it?
That inverted Texas cloverleaf almost, it looks like. Pinning the leg underneath. Not quite a sharpshooter.
Well, he's just going to let Matthew Quinn out. Tag in Onyx. Matthew's diving for the corner. And Corey Quinn's back in.
What a slam from Onyx. You know, this is a bit more of a hoss fight. A couple of bigger guys here. But Onyx is certainly the biggest, and he's letting you know it there with that stiff uppercut.
Uppercut and 1, 2, and 3. That was enough. That put away Corey Quinn. Stiff indeed. What a right hand from Onyx Quinn. Finishes the match with it.
Yeah, that's man. That's I would say surprising, but you know what? I think credit where it's due. I think the reason that was so effective is all the work that Onyx put in earlier in the match to wear down both of these guys. You know, he spent a long time in the ring, as we're seeing here on the replay, just beating the snot out of both of these Quinn brothers. Corey managed to tag out for a while, but he came back and he clearly wasn't 100%.
And maybe the change in ordering really perhaps got the stronger opponent in here. Onyx Stone really carrying most of this match. Slate came in and took a beating and really just got the hell out of there again, and Onyx came in and got the win. Unhinged goes to 6-3 now. Still passing Deadfire. They were tied for the second most wins in the tag division. Now sole possession of that feat with 6 so far. The Quinn Bros dropped to 3-2 with their loss here tonight. But a nice win for mostly Onyx Stone, but Unhinged as a whole. As we move into our next match, an important one as it pertains to our pay-per-view next week. Dr. Morbius taking on Bobby Plaster. And this one is for the right to face Flying Brian Young next week at Right to Fight, with the Path to Glory briefcase on the line, as it always is when the owner is in a match. That'll be a one-on-one match. Great opportunity to get a shot at the title for someone. And it starts for these two here tonight. First one with an opportunity is Unbroken Bobby, the greatest ever Plaster. All of that,
I believe that's
nickname.
Unbeaten, I believe it was, too.
It was unbeaten until he was taken down last week.
That's right. That was my point. Was unbeaten, and he's slowly it's being chipped away. I don't know. He came in with a lot of bravado, and I wonder if it'll hold up.
And he's come in as well with a new look. He's dumped the jorts. He's got some pink tights now, and I think he's changed his sunglasses as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably a smart choice. You know, he was coming in looking like Tangerine Sundance Kid, you know, like a cheap knockoff Orange Cassidy. And here he's got more of his own identity in his gear, I think, and the ridiculously smug, cocky guy that he is.
I think he cut the hair as well. On the other side, though, no idea what the hair of Dr. Morbius is looking like. He's all covered up and he's ready to go.
You know what, though? He's protected from the bubonic plague, too.
That's true. Yeah, he is. He's been masked up for centuries here, and so not a problem for him to follow any restrictions in place. Morbius at 3-4, 21st in the power rankings. Bobby Plaster 1-0 in singles action. He did lose last week. It was a 1-on-2 handicap match, so he wasn't docked in terms of his singles record, but he certainly didn't feel better about himself, not able to come away with a victory against New Era last week.
Yeah, it's tough to be too disappointed if you don't win a handicap match because the odds are stacked against you. But at the same time, you could tell he really wanted to win that and believed he could. So looking for a bit of a bounce back as Bobby Plaster immediately going outside and taking a powder.
Channeling his Kevin Owens here. The important thing actually in that match, the last time we saw Plaster, was that he almost won the damn thing. It was 1-on-2. New Era did come away victorious, but Plaster made a pretty good run at it and looked in control at times in that match. And really the handicap advantage that New Era had probably saved him. Otherwise, you might have been looking at another win for the self-proclaimed greatest ever.
Yeah, and I mean, it really was starting to build his case there. Although I gotta say, like I mentioned, he came in with a lot of bravado, and we're seeing, that facade slip a little bit. But he seems like this unbroken thing, it's indicating that he's not going to be deflated by a loss. So you got to give it to him, I suppose, as long as he chills out with the nicknames and the body oil and stuff. I'm okay giving him one or two.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to believe in himself if he wants to get anywhere. No one else is going to believe in you unless you believe in yourself, and he certainly does more than anyone else. Catches a sidewalk slam there, and I'm pretty sure he was busted open a minute ago. So he's
on that running bulldog, it looked like.
He's also no longer unbroken, as the forehead seems to be broken open there.
Well, that just gives him some time here while he's getting his ass whooped to think of a new nickname for next week, I suppose. But he should also think about how he's going to win this match as he gets control here, but yet again, taking a powder.
Yeah, really, using the opportunity not to continue to put in more offense, but to take a little bit of a break. Maybe he needed it, but, it doesn't look to have worked out for him.
Yeah, I wonder if it was supposed to be more of a head game for his opponent than anything else, but it still does not seem to have worked.
Well, now it's some corner clotheslines from the Doctor, and then a little short arm as he comes out of the corner, and now going to work on the already bloodied forehead of Bobby Plaster. He's really going after it there.
Yeah, he's a mess right now, and the Doctor not letting up here.
Now, Morbius, if he wins this opportunity, he'll have a shot at flying Brian Young on the pay-per-view next week. And he's been pretty good in his pay-per-view appearances. He's won some big matches there. He struggled more on these kind of weekly shows, and that may be an advantage for Bobby Plaster here. But right now, Morbius is looking pretty good. We don't know what sort of pay-per-view presence Bobby Plaster will have, having debuted after our last one, but with Morbius having a pretty good track record, he's looking forward to getting a win here tonight so they can continue that run. Right now, he's got a weakened opponent in front of him, but Bobby Plaster, as a self-proclaimed unbroken, doesn't know when to quit, how to quit, perhaps.
I think that's probably a more accurate statement.
Oh,
and the Kotaru Crusher there takes him down, and boy, that face is bleeding a lot.
Right on it, and that's going to be no. Plaster's out at 2. I thought that was going to be it for Bobby. Instead,
it sure looked like it. He's still pretty dazed.
Still in it. Wrist lock lariat from Dr. Morbius. More damage to Bobby Plaster, and that could be it for Bobby.
Oh. And he kicks out of the Plague Maker.
Kicked out of it. Continues to fight, does Bobby Plaster, and clotheslines his opponent outside of the ring.
I don't know if you caught it there, but it seemed like he raked the mask a little bit. I don't know if he scratched the eye holes or like what effect that had, but it seemed to work.
Nice counter from Morbius on the outside. Back and forth on the outside here. Best offense, clearly a good defense here.
Also useful to just throw your opponent across the room. And Morbius staying in control here. But, I don't know. Plaster looking dangerous, if that makes sense. Oh, no.
Bold choice for Dr. Morbius, and it did not pay off for him. Plaster goes up and gets him.
Oh, and using the ropes.
Oh, just gets a 1 count.
Not enough.
Oh, strong shoulder from Dr. Morbius there.
Yeah, Morbius.
Using
the ropes.
Show him how it's done. 1, 2, and no. Plaster gets his way out of that one.
Goes for a chop there, but instead Morbius puts him in a side headlock.
Oh, what a short arm clothesline there from Morbius. Oh, no.
Oh, and going for the trouble in paradise, but completely missed.
Morbius
got shoved off in the air.
Has him in his sights here. Into the corner he goes. Oh, it catches an elbow. Right in the snout.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, I think, but drops him into that top turnbuckle. I think his head hit that top turnbuckle, and then drops him again on his head. Boy, his bell's got to be rung.
Yet he continues to fight on. Unbroken indeed so far is Bobby Plaster.
You know, I've noticed several times an interesting thing here. Morbius seems to be like quicker with actual strikes. If you notice, they both try to punch at the same time. Morbius is getting his punches in faster, which is like a really underrated way to beat your opponent. Just actually cause them harm faster, and in that case, more creatively.
Yeah, waylaying on the head there. No, Plaster gets out.
Boy, Morbius is hot about that one. That was a very, very low amount of raising of his shoulders. You could maybe slide a piece of paper under there, but not much more. Plaster taking a powder again.
Plaster collecting himself. Morbius doing a little dance. These
little
two
lean with it, rock with it.
Gonna take
Shout
some
out to
action back
2004.
outside again. Nice counter by Plaster. Dumps
Drop
his
toe
opponent
hold.
face first.
Escapes inside the ring, but Morbius follows him closely, and big DDT.
Strong impact on the head of Dr. Morbius, but a nice counter gets himself back to his feet. Some damage done to the left knee of Bobby Plaster.
Going up
and
to that
Morbius
second rope again.
has climbed
Here
up.
we go.
He's waiting for Plaster to get to his feet. Oh,
A leg lariat from Brett's rope and some stomps to follow it up. Boy, Morbius is really having his way with Bobby Plaster, who I have to say truly seems unbreakable. He will not give up. Taking a hell of a beating here.
oh no. Oh, on the top of the head once more. Tombstone piledriver from the Doctor. And he might have just put away his patient here. 1, 2, and 3. Dr. Morbius is going to right to fight with that briefcase on the line against Flying Brian Young. And Bobby Plaster is going to have to sort himself out after dropping his first singles match here First official loss on the books.
Yeah, that's we talk about quality losses like, on occasion. I mean, a good opponent, and you really took him to the brink. I don't know that Bobby Plaster can be too mad about that loss, but ultimately his face was broken, and then his winning streak was broken. So he's going to have to admit defeat in some capacity.
Yeah, we'll see if his spirit is broken or not. I'm sure that he will have much to say following this match here tonight. Big win for the Doctor.
Always does.
Puts himself up to 4-4, back to 500, and drops Plaster to that plateau as well at 1-1. Dr. Morbius has a shot at the briefcase at Right to Fight next week. Next up, we've got some more singles action. Sparkles taking on Gracious Garrison Gray, the new reformed Triple G. And word has it, he has not stopped after his recruitment of the beast, Calvin Abueva. The man has pulled in his opponent from last week, the latex salesman himself, Art Vandelay.
I think he may be retired from the latex game now. It looks like he's devoted himself to a life of poverty and, following Gray around.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it. If it's, is it a cult? Is it a following? Is it harmless? Should we be concerned? I frankly do not know.
We saw Gray mentioned in a promo this week. He sort of challenged Art Vandelay, called on him to join the movement, and it seems like maybe he's got his sights here set on Sparkles as another member of what he has called the Disciples of Gray. That was the term he used, the Disciples of Gray.
Yeah, and for Gray, he's taken the gracious thing to a new level and perhaps a different level than maybe some would warrant, given the word. He's really using his power, his sway in the SWA he pulled Art Vandelay into a nearly main event type match, and he's really kind of done the same for Sparkles here tonight. Sparkles at 2-5 is 39th in the power rankings. That's better standing than Art Vandelay, who is now 0-6 and 47th. Triple G using his power to pull Sparkles into a near main event here, and to hear him tell it, he really saved the career perhaps of both Calvin Abueva and Art Vandelay. And like you said, maybe he's got his sights set on more, really elevating some people into the spotlight and helping them out in some way. I'd be surprised if this isn't self-serving in some way for Gray.
Yeah, I would suspect that's the case. He insists it's not, but only time will tell. He's talked a lot about saving the souls of the SWA. And, what did he say about Vandelay? He said he will help Vandelay to ascend beyond his current mediocrity. That seems to be his mission statement, sort of dragging everyone to the top is his gracious deed. And it feels a little backward and twisted, but I don't know anybody who can make Gray see the light in this case, because he seems convinced that he's already seen it.
Yeah, and is seemingly showing it to the rest of the SWA roster, and so far effectively. We see him now tonight. He's got Vandelay here with him. He has two people escorting him to the ring in the Beast, Calvin Abueva and Art Vandelay, and I would not be surprised if he doesn't have a sight set on more. And he's one of the top competitors we've got. He's had a couple of title shots that came up short, but he's 15-4. He leads the SWA in wins career-wise by 4, and two of his 4 losses have been in title matches. He knows how to put himself in the spotlight, and he does well in most situations. We'll see what he's got in store for Sparkles here tonight, who comes out with a handshake.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I have to say, if I were Sparkles, I would probably be a little spooked by all this, sort of Disciples of Gray nonsense. He apparently is, showing him he's not afraid, and he's just, let's have a good match here. But Gray already throwing him around.
And, Sparkles could be understanding the position he's in here as a result of Gray's kind of graciousness with the handshake
that's
there.
A good point.
And Gray returning it, that was not something we saw out of Gray until we saw him face Daniel Drake Thomas. A handshake there after a victory. A handshake with Tomio Yamaguchi after defeat. Really is just a changed Gray in terms of how he handles defeat, but an interesting change in everything about him since that last title loss.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about sort of Sparkles acknowledging what a match at this spot on the card means, but these two guys looking to have a good one here early on, really beating the mess out of each other. And again, you notice, speaking of graciousness, the Disciples of Gray have remained sort of off to the side. They're not interfering, no hijinks, anything like that. They're just standing here to watch.
Yeah, and take in perhaps what Gray is teaching them, as it were. Who knows if they're here for some sort of support or if this is education.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. Oh, and dumped outside. A long way to fall.
Nice counter by Sparkles, since Gray way over the top.
And a big backbreaker to follow it up. Well, now Sparkles looking at his prey a bit here, feeling very confident against the winningest wrestler on the roster. Gotta say, that's a bold thing.
Now looking for a cover here. Gets a 1 count. Gray's out of that. Gotta wonder, is Garrison Gray giving it his all here? Or is he holding back? We saw him put away Art Vandelay in near record time last week. A much different Gray in this match here against Sparkles.
Yeah, indeed. As Art Vandelay comes, closer to the ring, maybe to check on Garrison Gray, make sure everything's okay. Because, like you say, I would have probably predicted this one would be over pretty quickly in favor of Gray, who, like I said, is the winningest superstar. But, maybe Gray's taking his time. Oh, and a power slam from Sparkles. Good work. Shades of Dustin Rhodes there. And down with the slam. What do we think here? I don't know what to make of Gray yet. Sort of taking all this offense. Is this a gracious, ploy on his part? What's he thinking?
I was thinking that it was, and I was having doubts about his performance, but I don't think that Garrison Gray would have signed up for that one.
Yeah, right in the giblets. That's gonna hurt.
Gets the shoulder up. He lives to fight on, but that, I know how Gray feels about that area of his body, and I'm sure he's not going to be too happy about that one.
Yeah, he might take that a little personally. But let's see what he's thinking here as he and a tackle, a spear right off of the apron, maybe caught a bit of the barricade on the way down.
Yeah, and if he did, it was face first for Sparkles. Went a long way there.
Gray looking hot here.
Yeah, that Sort of shattered dreams in the corner there might have been the beginning of the end for Sparkles. Really fired up Gray here.
Gray missed. Dragging him to the center of the ring.
Repositioning his opponents as Abueva and Vandalay watch on. 1, 2, and 3. Gracious Garrison Gray is victorious. His 16th win in the SWA.
And I gotta say, I'll be curious to hear from Gray about, kind of what was going on in that match, because it looked like he was all but done for a bit there, even eating a boot to the little boys. Gorgeous and gracious. But in the end, he turned it on when he needed to and got a win.
Yeah, that really seemed to fire him up. After that, it was all Gray. And like I said, when you see someone of Gray's caliber in a match like this, I expected what he did to Art Vandalay last week, and we saw Sparkles put up a fight, and it made me question if Gray was holding back a little bit. And then I wonder if Sparkles just bit off a little bit more than he could chew and fired up Gracious Garrison Gray in a way that said, yeah, I'm done messing around here. I'm going to put you away now.
Yeah, that thing you mentioned about maybe this match was educational for the disciples, right? Disciples are quite literally students, so they're nominally learning from him. Maybe that was all it was. He was teaching them about graciousness. I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear some very over-the-top explanation of it all very soon, because if one thing's for sure, Gray loves to hear himself talk.
Certainly, I would expect to hear all about it from Gray himself. No one is prouder and impressed by Garrison Gray than Garrison Gray. Next up, though, we move into our main event of the night, our third and final tag team match, and a big one at that. We've got a head-to-head matchup of the undefeateds in the tag division, New Era and Dirty Deeds. New Era sits at 4-0 in tag competition. Dirty Deeds 3-0. And an important one tonight, the winner of this match will get a shot next week at Right to Fight against the Quinn brothers with the SWA tag team titles on the line. Couldn't ask for more, and what an opportunity for these two.
Yeah, note that that's brothers, not bros. The A team, as it were. But yeah, the two newer undefeated tag teams looking to assert their spot as the number one contenders for the SWA tag titles. And boy, this match has some high stakes.
Yes, K. Bozeman and the Ace. New Era 4-0. That includes their takedown of Bobby Plaster last week. But have come in hot in the tag side of things. They came up short in the tag elimination chamber at Countdown, but have been great in head-to-head action, undefeated as it were, and they're going to face perhaps their toughest opponent to date in Dirty Deeds, who have the same accolades, undefeated 3-0 in their tag matches so far. We haven't seen a ton of them, and you can see the reason why there, because Tomio Yamaguchi is the SWA World Champion. Makes it tough to work in tag matches. He's the top-ranked superstar in the SWA, 10-1. Hasn't lost since that inaugural tournament, and hasn't lost since he got that gold belt around his waist. He'll be teaming up with the Fed, Daniel Drake Thomas, tonight, the submission artist himself. If there was a leader of the sub-gang, it would be DDT.
Yeah, and there's potential here if Dirty Deeds gets a win tonight, manages to get a win at the pay-per-view, you suddenly have one tag team, one stable holding all the gold. And that'd be a really big deal, man. These guys are already some of the best competitors. Imagine having them be, all of the champions too.
And an interesting situation for Yamaguchi. If Dirty Deeds wins this match tonight, we're not really sure what will happen with the SWA World Championship. If they win, they will face the Quinn brothers with the tag team titles on the line. Will Tomio Yamaguchi pull double duty next week? Or will the World Championship not be defended at a pay-per-view, which would be the first time that had happened here in the SWA? And
yeah, who knows?
And perhaps more importantly, a streak already over in this match. Not only will someone lose their undefeated streak, Daniel Drake Thomas just lost his refusing to hit the corner splash streak, finally connecting.
That's, I suppose, the best kind of loss you could have.
Bozeman was frightened of that and tags himself out. Ace now the active man for New Era. Nice suplex from DDT.
Beautiful suplex.
Positioning the Ace here, and he is going to tag in the champ. Here comes Yamaguchi.
Yeah, Yamaguchi not messing around, goes right for the Ace, but the Ace is prepared, maybe playing possum there a bit.
Tomio Yamaguchi has been deadly in all facets of the SWA. Catches a discus forearm there, though. Takes him off his feet. The champ's been about as unbeatable as you can be. Hasn't lost since the inaugural tournament. Ages ago, back at the beginning of Season 1.
It's pretty unbelievable, I gotta say, how long he's gone without losing. But the Ace here looking, I don't know, dazed a bit.
Oh, my!
Struggling.
Yeah,
he makes the tag
around Thomas, and Bozeman is in. Connects on a nice kick.
Bozeman fired up, looking to avenge some losses in the chamber.
And how about the Fed just standing in place, dodging a couple of kicks, but then takes a clothesline, and he's on the outside.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw there, he flipped out of a Northern Lights suplex as well, which is good stuff. But Bozeman looking to take this to the outside, maybe get the environment involved here. DDT maybe sneaking out, staring in his face.
Yeah, Thomas breaks the grapple there, and probably a good thing because it looked like Bozeman had some bad intentions for dirty deeds there.
He might again here, but yet again, DDT able to sneak out, protecting himself, avoiding any calamity encounters with that set of steel steps. Looking to work on the arm. These guys really trading spots here.
He's working on the left arm there. Now Bozeman working on the left a little bit. Bozeman a submission threat as well. Oh, off the steps there, gut first.
Bozeman, we knew it was coming.
Finally gets it.
DDT takes a tumble as he's thrown across the ring.
Yamaguchi watches on. Ace back up on the apron for New Era, but this one continues outside. Of course, as we mentioned before, no countouts, but it will have to end inside the ring.
Well, tag partners staying out of it. They want a clean fight here. Oh, and what you thought was a DDT maybe ended up as a suplex. And a whiff on a kick. DDT, gonna say he was looking to get back in control as he goes off the post.
Bozeman using the environment incredibly effectively against DDT here. Off the steps first and now off the corner post.
Just absolutely beating him down. And a snap suplex on the outside. Not a lot of room out there before you catch that barricade. Those mats are very thin. Oh, and a kick as well.
DDT finally getting something going. Slams Bozeman on the mat there. Yeah, those mats are mostly cosmetic. Not a lot of padding outside. It's not like the inside of the ring. DDT trying to crawl for the tag. Yamaguchi wanted it, but Bozeman grabs a hold and is repositioning his opponent. He's going to make a tag instead. And the Ace is the active man here with DDT down, still inside.
We got to see, keeping your team fresh, swapping out who's in the ring is always good, but the Ace looked a little rough to start, and he has had some time to get his head back underneath him, but he's got to hope that he can get things going here, because now DDT's out and the champ's back in. This could be trouble.
Wisely takes the first opportunity there to tag himself out, collect himself, and get Yamaguchi in. Probably the best decision he could have made at that point. Get perhaps the best guy on the roster in and get yourself a break.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it's a no-brainer. But in the meantime, Yamaguchi really going to work on the Ace, who, again, just sort of nobody home. Really kind of struggling in this match. We need to see more from him if these guys want a shot at the tag titles. As he elects to go back and tag his partner. Can't say I blame him. Bozeman really the one who seems to have the juice tonight.
Bozeman going right at Yamaguchi there. Nice kick and suplex.
Yeah, nice snap suplex. Really whipping him down, but Jawbreaker and Yamaguchi goes for a running knee and whiffs. Whoa, what is this?
DDT is left rake side.
Yamaguchi goes for a tag, and DDT has bailed on him. What is happening here? This is suddenly become
Yamaguchi is all alone. This is now a 2-on-1.
Yeah, this has become a handicap match as we see a standing shooting star press from the Ace, and he's going up top here. Long way to jump. Looking for that moon stomp.
Cross hits the moon stomp. Yamaguchi is in trouble here.
And Bozeman hot dogging on the outside.
Oh. Right into the cover is the Ace. Has he done it? No, Yamaguchi kicks out.
But it feels like at this point it's only a matter of time. Yamaguchi suddenly finds himself in a handicap match a week before he has to maybe defend his title on top of hopefully going for a shot at the tag titles. This is not the situation you want to find yourself in.
Tag made Bozeman the live man for New Era.
And a nice reversal. Yamaguchi just trying to stay alive here.
What a kick. No idea what this means for Dirty Deeds. Superman punch from Yamaguchi. Going for the cover on Bozeman. I don't think Ace realized it. 1-2 and no, he kicked out.
Ooh, that was awful close there. Yamaguchi might get away with this just yet. The champ is the champ for a reason.
If Tomio Yamaguchi comes away with a 1-on-2 victory here, I mean, what can't he do? But it's not over yet.
And, you got to wonder, as he hits a brain buster there, you got to wonder if he can keep his focus. Obviously on his mind, his tag partner leaving him so suddenly like that. But, Yamaguchi's got to focus on what's going on here as he goes for the single leg action. Cranking with that hot single leg action. And
Bozeman trying to crawl away. Can't do it, but does kick out there. And Bozeman going to get out of here. The Ace now the active man once again. And Yamaguchi with nowhere to turn. He will have to continue to stay out there.
He's looking awful tired, looking awful worn down. He's gotten beat down for sure.
Ace 1-2 and almost had him. He had the foot on the ropes too. What a bitch slap from Tomio Yamaguchi. I don't think he was happy about that. Now waiting for the Ace to get up so that he can put him to sleep. Tomio Yamaguchi has taken down the Ace. Is this it? 1, 2, and Bozeman breaks it up.
Tries it with the good Nighthausen, but it's just not the same unless you dump a bag of teeth in his mouth. And Bozeman breaking it up here, but Yamaguchi, again, I have to say, really looking like he's holding his own in this match. This is it's a scary thing for whoever challenges for the title, in the coming weeks, and eventually even the Rumble winner if the champ can handle this kind of storm.
The ace makes the tag here. Bozeman, the active man. He's going to go outside where Yamaguchi is currently.
Goes for the Enzo, but misses. And just beating him down now.
Yamaguchi totally fine, it seems, to just make this a brawl on the outside. He finally rolls Bozeman in. Oh, the Dragon Twist Cutter. Yes, K. Bozeman, 1, 2, and 3. New Era are your winners. It took 2 of them, but they put down Tomio Yamaguchi and get the win over Dirty Deeds, who the hell knows what's going on with those two. Daniel Drake Thomas walked out in the middle of that match. Yamaguchi held his own for as long as he could, but was finally taken down. The combination effort from New Era. New Era will get a shot at the Quinn brothers next week with the tag team titles on the line. Guess it clears that up. Tomio Yamaguchi will be defending the World Championship next week, but what the hell is going on with Dirty Deeds?
That's going to be the real question. You know, that's going to be, I think, probably on his mind defending the title at the pay-per-view next week. What happened, you know, with his tag team partner? Like, well, you know, they're going to have to work this out. Those two seemed like very close allies, and, you know, it would surprise me if they can't find a way to work it out, but you never know. You just never know.
Solid night of action, however, as we move forward towards next week. Right to Fight Season 2. We're going to have Dr. Morbius taking on Flying Brian Strong with the Path to Glory briefcase on the line. We will see the Quinn brothers defend the SWA World Tag Team Championships against New Era. We're going to have the Right to Fight Rumble. That's going to be a big one. And more to come as well. Stay tuned for those announcements for next week. We'll see you there. Thanks for coming out tonight. And we'll catch you later. Have a good one.